All right, so in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how I would help these three creators scale and build their YouTube channel, okay? And they can do this without creating soulless videos or 25-minute ADHD yap sessions, right? So that's what you typically see on YouTube. See a lot of these soulless videos where it's very obviously scripted. There's not a lot of substance to it. You know, sometimes you can even tell it's written by ChatGPT. And then on the other hand, you have these people that just turn on the camera and just yap away for 25 minutes. And, you know, that might work a little bit, but it's probably not going to work for very long. So you need to actually deliver value and create some good content. So I'm going to show these guys how they can do that, but at the same time, not taking too much time because I know that they're all very busy. So first of all, who are these guys? All three of these guys are basically like megalodons in the money Twitter world. I also like all three of them. So David, for instance, you know, very well known on money Twitter. I couldn't even find a YouTube channel for him, so I'm going to go over him first. Then there's Jordan Lee. He's the growth partner guy. I think he has some partners as well, but he's very well known as well. Basically started the whole growth partner trend that is getting bigger and bigger. And then, of course, cold email wizard, which is Daniel Fazio. So starting off with David. First of all, David, this is going to be the quickest one. I couldn't even find you on YouTube, brother. So maybe you do have a YouTube channel, but I looked all over and I couldn't find it, right? So if I can't find it, then chances are 99% of your fans can't find it either, right? So you are obviously leaving a ton of money on the table. You have a lot to say. You'd be able to give a ton of value. So not sure why you aren't posting on YouTube. It might be because you think that it's going to take too much time and you don't want to make soulless content that, you know, you have to hire a copywriter and then read off of a script or a teleprompter while you make the video. But at the same time, you could make videos that are very, off the cuff. You could just turn the camera on and just go over some things since you're obviously an expert and you could just talk off the top of your head. But with that being said, there's certain ways to structure those videos so they don't turn into yap sessions, like I said before. So David, right off the bat, he's the first one. This is a real quick one. Just you need to start YouTube. Hit me up. I'll give you a free demo. And by the way, just in case you guys are wondering who I am, I'm going to go ahead and kind of just, first of all, show you guys. First of all, income screenshots. So I'll just show you guys right off the bat. I did this a few months ago for marketing purposes. I have a large YouTube channel, 700,000 subs. I make about 300K per month just from that YouTube channel. Here's some screenshots to prove it. It's like AdSense money. This is like sponsorship money. This is some affiliate money. This is affiliate money and also courses and coaching and some other income sources, direct deposit in my bank account. So that is kind of proof that I know what I'm doing. I've done this before myself. This isn't even all of it. It's just all that I could fit easily on a screenshot. And then on top of that, I do have some testimonials from a bunch of other people who I've helped get some of the same results. So, all these people, I've helped them grow and monetize their YouTube channels as well. Some of these people have even made it to 8 figures. So for instance, Thomas made it to 8 figures. He's an absolute beast. Stan's doing like 400, 500K a month. He's crushing it. Josh got him all the way from like less than $1,000 a month to 186K per month. Antoine helped him make over 100K per month and get his systems and operations dialed in, et cetera, et cetera. So a lot of people that I've helped do this. And YouTube, without a doubt, is one of the best platforms you can possibly use to grow. So let's talk about why they aren't big yet. And then I'm going to go over each one of them as an example. So first of all, this guy, David, he's not big because I can't even find his YouTube channel. And I looked for like 10 minutes. So obviously that's why he's not big, but his success on Twitter would easily translate to YouTube. So most creators, I'll zoom on this so it's easier to see. Most creators spend years on a single platform establishing their voice brand network business when expansion and scaling comes into place via YouTube. So you see how much money you can make on YouTube and you're like, all right, I want to get in on that. But you also see that, hey, YouTube is a lot of work, right? That's what a lot of people say. It's one of the number one things I hear. It's like, man, I'm just too busy with XYZ. And so that's why I can't do YouTube. Now, other platforms typically max out around 10 million per year. Instagram, I've seen some people get up to like 40, 50 million a year, but they're typically running massive ad budgets for Instagram shoutouts, and Instagram shoutouts aren't as good anymore. But yeah, typically platforms are going to max out at about 10 million per year, with Instagram being the exception, but that's with pretty rare niches. Typically that works. YouTube, on the other hand, there's many creators doing 100 million a year, either with equity or with, they're running ads, they're retargeting their YouTube channel, like a lot of people in the fitness space, but there's many different creators that are doing 100 million a year. So that is the power of YouTube. People launch entire businesses that they end up selling for hundreds of millions of dollars off of YouTube, right? So YouTube is without a doubt the best platform in terms of maximizing your income, with Instagram being a second, in my opinion. But it really depends on your niche. So that's why people should be starting on YouTube. If you have a big following on other platforms, it's going to be insanely easy for you to start and grow your YouTube channel. Now, on YouTube, people would opt in for, of course, mentorship, info product courses, offers. You can even, grow software products. The sky is the limit. I mean, you could do anything you want. You could do a coaching program, a mentorship, info products, courses like Iman Godzi. You could start software products. And the crazy thing about YouTube is there's pretty much no need for elite closers or setters at all. So people just hop on a call and they're just ready to buy, right? Because they've been watching your channel and it's a personal brand. So they feel like they're personally connected with you. They've been watching you for a while and they almost feel like you're their internet friend. They form this kind of a creepy thing called a parasocial relationship where they feel like they know you, even though you have never met them. But whenever people run into me, at the airport or whatever, they always act like they just ran into a friend that they haven't seen in years. Like it's an odd experience, but I mean, I'm not complaining, but that is the power of YouTube. When people watch you on YouTube, they truly feel like they're forming a relationship with you. And so by the time they hop on the call with you, or by the time they hop on the call with the closer, they're just ready to buy. So you don't really need closers, setters, follow-ups, or any of that stuff. Now, if you have that stuff, you can use it with your email list. You can, cold outbound call people on your email list, or cold outbound call people who attended your webinar and all that stuff. But that's optimization. You don't need to do that. There's many people that are absolutely crushing it on YouTube, and they're just making videos. And I'm going to show a few examples of that. So, I personally experienced it all the time, and I still do it to this day. YouTube gets traffic, it educates the traffic, and it nurtures the traffic. Okay, so it does like 3 different steps of the process, and it actually directly does those, but it indirectly helps with obviously lead generation, and then sales as well, because you don't need to have the best salespeople in the world. You don't need to have an incredibly dialed in sales process when you're getting traffic from YouTube, because it's such warm traffic, right? And the biggest mistakes people make is bad video ideas, bad understanding of niche, bad understanding of audience, bad understanding of psychographics. That's a huge one. Bad video packaging. That's, title, thumbnail, intro. And a lot of the time you don't actually have to have an amazing title, thumbnail, intro, but what you do want to make sure is those 3 things are congruent with each other. So if you're sort of packaging your video as being more of a raw, authentic video, but your title and your thumbnail are not raw and authentic, or the other way around, your thumbnail and title are raw and authentic, but then your video is highly edited, that's going to be extremely incongruent. It's not going to work, right? And then there's other things that are related to that, but that's just an example. Content missing key elements. No content strategy, aka top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel content. And then they don't understand marketing from YouTube because it doesn't really require appointment setting, right? So let's talk about how they can open the floodgates for clients, and then I'm going to get into each individual one. So of course, you want to dial in your high ticket product, and it can be nerve wracking when your lead source is something like cold email. Don't get me wrong. I think cold email is great. But YouTube, growing an organic audience, growing a personal brand, there's nothing better than that. I mean, Alex Ramosi even said he gets 27 times the money out of the money that he spends on his personal brand versus spending money on ads. And he's really good at making money from ads. So personal brand is just a no-brainer, especially on YouTube, because it's the most powerful and you can make the most money from it. Also cold DMs, 20-minute scattered looms, endless content creation loops, etc. So there are two ways of doing it. The old way, you rely on a single platform for leads. There's no expansion as it's scary and hard to pull off and too much work and all the other excuses. Cold outreach, repurposing content everywhere, just lazily repurposing it. The new way, there's two different options for you. So you can either make mass market content. That's what I personally decided to do. That's what Iman Gadzhi does. That's what Alex Ramosi does. He's basically making audience content that a wide audience of people can watch and consume and appreciate. And there are pros and cons of mass market content. I'm going to go over those, but basically you have to set up a system that creates good recurring content. And when I mean good, like what I mean by this is your editing has to be on point. Your thumbnails have to be on point. Your titles have to be on point. Everything has to be on point. Your marketing has to be on point as well, because you're targeting people that, you know, a lot of the time don't really know you very well. And so it's a pretty big step to have them actually buy your stuff. And you have to set up ideation and goodwill for your audience. You have to set up and select proper editors for good retention and visuals. Again, retention editing, each video might take like a week to edit in some cases per editor, right? You have to enable all the above and achieve excellent monetization. And your input has to be exceptionally good and your output will be exceptionally great. So this is an option for people. If you want to go mass market, there are pros to doing that. And I'm actually going to open up a spreadsheet here in a second and kind of show you, because I've actually collected the data on niche content versus mass market content. So the second option is niche content. This is where you create like authentic, raw content. You do need to come up with good video ideas, but the thumbnail, title, intro can be relatively basic. Don't need to spend too much time on that. Don't need to spend too much time on the script writing. The workflow is pretty automated. And then, of course, you still want to add a team in there just to make everything flow better. For instance, let's just say you're making videos on, you know, where you're going over a Miro board or a flow chart, right? Well, you probably want your team to help you to create that, because that does take time, right? So hopefully that makes sense. But let's go ahead and look at audits. Yeah, okay. So this took me dozens and dozens of hours to compile. I basically had to go back and watch the interviews, podcasts, income reveals of people who were making a ton of money on YouTube. And keep in mind, this is the revenue and all the stats of the time that they were doing the podcast. So for instance, Charlie Morgan's making more like 1.3 million a month now. At the time I did this, he was making about 1 million a month. You know, so some of these are going to be off for current times, but this is the time where they actually revealed their income. So the most important stat here is the total revenue per 1,000 views. So you see guys like Ali Abdaal, Andre Geek, they're only making like $45, $28 per 1,000 views. Ali Abdaal is selling a 3K medium ticket course with no phone. Andre Geek is doing affiliate and low ticket stuff. Meet Kevin, Graham Stephan, you know, they're getting tons of views. They're making mass market content, right? I talked about that, appealing to a broad audience of people. You know, Meet Kevin selling like 1K medium ticket products approximately. Graham Stephan is doing mostly affiliate and then low ticket stuff. And you can see, you know, they're making a ton of money. Don't get me wrong. They're crushing it. But look how many views they have to get. 20 million, 10 million. Ali Abdaal, I don't know why that's deleted, but I think he's probably doing around 5 million or something. I forgot exactly, but I don't know why that was deleted. But he's doing a lot of views. And then you look at these guys like Charlie Morgan, for instance. Okay, Charlie Morgan, he's doing about 7,000 per 1,000 views. So every 1,000 views he gets, he's making about $7,000. Just let that sink in. And at the time, he was doing 113K views. He's doing a lot more than that now. And he's selling a 12K high ticket product at the time. I don't know how much it is now, but he is making niche content, guys. That's the power of niche content. When you go from niche to mass market, the amount of money you're making is going to drop a lot. And then another thing is he's making niche content and he's selling a high ticket product. So you can see that high ticket products, when it comes to the revenue per 1,000 views, are significantly better than low and medium ticket or affiliate. It is ridiculous. So just as an example, one of the worst for high ticket products is Nomad Capitalist. He does have a mass market audience. He does get millions of views, and he sells a super high ticket product, and he makes about $500 per 1,000 views. And that's one of the worst for high ticket products. Now you look at some of the best, this would be like Boyd Cluis, for instance. He's doing about 1.5 million a month. He sells a product teaching people how to get into cybersecurity, specifically PCI compliance. Gets about 150K views a month, and he's doing about $9,000 per 1,000 views. Absolutely ridiculous. Another one that's doing mass market, not quite as good. He's Ryan Pineda. He's doing about $1,000 per 1,000 views. Brian Hildreth, mass market, $500 per 1,000 views. And the worst one was Coach Kyle. He's doing about $366 per 1,000 views. Now, let's look at the absolute best that are doing medium ticket, low ticket, or affiliate marketing. Iman Gadzhi. He's like a freaking marketing god. I mean, every 3 months the world is ending, right? And he does the webinars. He's an absolute pro at it. Pro lifestyle marketing. I mean, just doesn't get as good as that. And he's still only doing about $200 per 1,000 views. And he's an absolute marketing pro. Okay. So that is what happens when you're selling a medium ticket product. Now, with that being said, let's talk about the pros of doing mass market. The pros are Iman Gadzhi is creating a software, and he might end up exiting from that software for $100 million or more. And so this might be a really good long-term play. Now, why did I decide to do mass market? One, because I think it's really good for networking and kind of just getting your name out there. It's a lot easier to make it on a podcast. It's a lot easier to get your name out there when you go mass market. Another thing is, because of the fact that I was mass market, I was able to secure equity in a company that right now is worth about 100 million, and it very likely is going to sell for $1 billion. I was able to secure equity in that company. So that is a pretty good reason to consider going mass market. But to tie it all together, what I would highly recommend to all of you guys, unless you have some kind of grand plan to create a $100 million or $1 billion software company, I would really recommend just sticking with niche content, because all of the data here suggests that it's just a lot easier to make money with niche content versus making money with mass market and low, medium ticket and affiliate marketing offers, right? So that is what I would recommend you guys do. And then obviously hybrid personal branding. This is basically, I think most of you would probably know to do this, but this is basically where you set up your company where, yes, you have a personal brand, but you have a second company that you can actually sell with your personal brand. So an example of this would be Doug DeMuro. This guy has his personal brand. He reviews all these cars. Nice Porsche 911, Porsche 997. Beautiful car review. And he started a website called carsandbids.com, and he used his YouTube channel to promote this website. And then he sold this website for $80 million. So that's basically an example of a hybrid personal brand. You get the upside of a personal brand, having that personal connection with people, having people really respect you without any of the downside, because obviously you can't sell your personal brand, or at least it's very difficult. I know like Huffington Post started off as a personal brand, and then they were able to sell it later on, Ariana Huffington, but it's a lot harder if you do it that way. But it is possible, but it's just a lot harder. So it's better to set it up like a hybrid personal brand so that it's easier to sell it later on. So let's talk about, we're going to talk about all these things, and I'm going to go over each one of them. So David talked about this one. Hey, listen, calling everyone else a lazy fuck, but you're not posting on YouTube, brother. Come on, brother. You got to post on YouTube, man. So that's all I'm going to say about that one. Jordan. So we'll go over Jordan next. So let's look at his YouTube channel here. This is his channel, The Growth Partner. And I'm sure these guys are doing, I think, like 400K a month, something like that. I don't know how much of it is coming from YouTube. I'm guessing maybe 100K per month is coming from YouTube at this channel size, maybe 50K per month. But if you use advanced tracking software, maybe indirectly even more than that. So I see that you are really, you're uploading like maybe once a week or so, something like that. You're kind of making, these thumbnails are very, I don't know, Iman Gadzhi-ish style thumbnails. And honestly, I think you'd probably do a lot better if, first of all, you uploaded more often and you just made more raw, authentic content. And the best thing about this is it would actually be easier for you to make this type of content. So, a couple examples of people who do this. These are a couple really good examples. So there's this guy, Serge Guattari. So he does this. He makes this like raw, authentic content. Even lately, he still does these videos where he's just like scrolling through a Google Doc. Some of his oldest videos were actually kind of hilarious to go through because they were so bad. I mean, they were like, terrible audio, just using a Loom video, showing his whole screen, just going through a Google Doc, right? You can barely even read it. So, but it works. It works. Making this raw, authentic content. This is what's working right now. I mean, you see guys like Sam Sulik. This guy absolutely is crushing it. And he's basically just making, he's basically just making super raw, authentic content. Just take a picture of himself and then barely any edits in the entire video. And this is in one of the most competitive niches in the world. And it's actually with mass market content. So you can definitely make this work. Now, another guy who makes really raw, authentic content is Charlie Morgan. So I really like this guy's content too. So you look at his videos. It looks like it's recorded with a potato. It's not the best audio. And he just draws on a whiteboard and there's zero edits, right? So he just talks basically off the top of his head. I'm sure he has some kind of maybe a flashcard to remind him that go over this point first, then this point second, this point third, etc. So he probably has a little bit something here and there to remind him. But this is the kind of content I think would work really well for you guys. And again, hit me up. I can help you out. I think I'd be able to blow up your channel in no time. And then finally, let's talk about Daniel Fazio. Now, I do like his content. He has grown a bit more. He's probably doing like $1 million a month, something like that. So I like this stimulant maxing one. That one was really funny. But yeah, I mean, you're uploading a little bit irregularly, maybe like once or twice a week. I think that you could do with a little bit more actually on the technical side of things. I feel like you're not hitting the right keywords in many cases. You are making that raw, authentic content, but you're not necessarily hitting the right keywords. Also, let's look at your most popular videos. So it looks like your most popular videos kind of just have a picture of you, like with your background. So that's one thing about authentic content is you want to make your thumbnail look like the actual background that you're delivering the information with. And it looks like that a lot of your videos actually have that in common, Daniel. So, that's something you'd probably want to do. And the big thing is just coming up with the right ideas. And honestly, both with Daniel and the Growth Partner guys, you really, like, the big thing is you guys just need to come up with the right video ideas. Because if you have the right video idea, everything else could be relatively mediocre, and you're still going to get a lot of views and a lot of sales, because you want to be talking about ideas that there's a starving crowd of people for. And there's a very specific way of searching and finding those ideas that I do. It's called the icon method. And I posted about it on my Twitter many times. And this is what will just absolutely blow up your channel, is finding the right ideas. So that's the one thing you should focus your time on, and everything else, obviously you guys are experts, so you can just talk about this stuff basically off the top of your head. You don't really need to make fancy content scripts and all that kind of stuff. And so really you just want to focus on finding the right ideas. And that's something that I could definitely help you guys with, along with everything that I showed you on here. So yeah, that's how I would help these three guys to scale and build their YouTube channel. And all three of these guys, in my opinion, are leaving millions of dollars a year on the table. I think all three of these guys could add at least another million a year if they were properly using YouTube. And that's like bare minimum, another million a year. Probably more like a million a month, or honestly, even more than that. They could probably be doing 2 or 3 mil a month within the next year. So if they used YouTube properly. So that is my breakdown of how they could grow, and probably how a lot of other people watching this could grow as well.